What is going on, spectators? Welcome back to another episode. My name is Julian. I am here with Gerard, and today we got the NBA draft to talk about. It happened last Thursday, I believe, and there was some very interesting stuff. It was one of the more entertaining drafts we've had in a while. We've had some winners, we've had some losers, and we're gonna talk about them. Gee, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, my boy? We out here chilling, mad, but chilling.
Big mad, big mad. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But like I said, the 2022 NBA draft has officially passed us. It's always so crazy that like the finals happen and a week later we get the draft. So we just get basketball content for a while. Before we do get into the draft stuff, I do want to mention all the drama happening with Kyrie and KD because that is definitely something we're going to be monitoring a lot. You're probably going to see a lot of our posts about it in the coming weeks. And essentially, Kyrie wants out. I don't know. Did you see the video earlier today where somebody interviewed Kyrie?
Yeah, and they were like, "Do you want to be in Brooklyn?" And he said, "Pass it to my left." Well, that's my right. That's your left. But yeah, pass it to the left.
There's like, I don't know who was next to him, his wife or his girl or his sister. I don't know. But he was like, I'm going to pass it to him. And the guy's like, oh, you're going to lead the league in assists.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just wouldn't answer the question. So I know that's not answering the question, and not answering it doesn't necessarily mean he wants to be out. But
And the only team that has interest in him right now is LA Lakers.
which
So
is really funny that there's one team interested. Like he came out with this list and had the Knicks and the Sixers and the Heat and the Mavericks and the Lakers, and just the Lakers are the only ones that actually want him because every other team is like, bro, we don't want what you're doing right now to happen to us in 2 years.
exactly,
We
like
don't
you've
want
bounced
that.
around. What, this be your third team in 4 years?
Not only your third team, but this is the third team that you've specifically wanted to leave. So what's the ideal situation?
He just missed his dad. That's it. Misses his
Miss
dad. Wants to get back.
he misses Papa really bad, so much so that he's okay with going back and playing with him now. Apparently,
Yeah, Papa can protect you, take care of you, get you
feed
another
you,
ring.
get put a roof over your head, get you another ring. Exactly. He hasn't won one
Mm,
since leaving.
exactly.
You know who has? Papa LeBron,
Papa has a nice fat one, bubble one.
bubble one. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. I don't want to talk too much about how the fit goes there because that's just a whole different episode worth of content. But
Right.
with Kyrie potentially leaving, that opens the door for KD to be leaving, and we've seen a lot of teams. I know the Blazers players have been pretty active.
Them
Talking
boys
about
are
that,
recruiting.
bro. Dame posted the jersey swap, and then like some other like insiders posted it, and then he just quoted it. So his story was four of the same edit, and it was just him and KD next to each other in Blazers gear.
Yusuf Nurkic, he quoted it too. So they out there recruiting
I and
because
then
they
and then
need
I
help.
saw a really good tweet, and it was like, Portland, you guys already had your chance, and it was them drafting Greg Oden instead of KD. It's like, man,
Tough,
yeah, yeah,
tough.
very
Hey,
tough. Hey, that's the way it goes though. And so yeah, KD might be on the way out too if Kyrie's out. Weird marriage over there. Just the two weirdest guys in the NBA, but they're both top 10 players. So we gotta deal with them. We gotta talk about them. Sadly,
exactly.
they're not just like, I don't know, the
Just
Mario
a sad,
Chalmers of
sad
the
day in
league.
Brooklyn.
It's a
Sad day in
sad,
Brooklyn.
very sad, very sad, dude. And like,
Little brother energy going crazy over there.
I don't know, because the Knicks didn't do too much greatness this weekend either, or this
Yeah,
week either.
it's a family affair.
It's
Everyone
a
sucks.
family affair. We're all horrible. And so that's a great time to switch gears. The draft just happened, and I want to talk about winners and losers. And I want you to start it. Give me whichever you feel more passionate about, a winner or a loser.
Um, so we'll stick to New York because that's where we're at right now. Um, the loser is the Knicks. The number one loser in this draft to me is the Knicks because I don't know what they did. It's been what 3 4 days now, and I still don't know. I don't understand. So for y'all who don't know who didn't watch the draft, here's what happened. The Knicks come in with the 11th pick of the draft. That's what we have. They had for like a week straight, we're talking about they're trying to trade up to go get Jaden Ivey. They're trying to take with the Kings or the Pistons or one of those two teams to get their pick, right? The Pistons said we're not trading. The Kings said we're not trading. So whatever, we don't get Jaden Ivey.
Fair
Move on
enough.
with our
Yeah,
lives.
fair enough.
Then we get to the 11th pick, and there's a lot of talent there that we could go for. And we trade it. We trade the 11th pick away. Um, believe we was that the one we traded to. See, this is where it gets confusing. This is where it gets totally confusing
Traded to Oklahoma
because
City for
Oklahoma.
three future draft picks.
Yeah, so we have three future draft picks. All two of them are protected. So one is the Mavericks pick, which is, I believe, they're not gonna be anywhere in the top 20. So that's probably gonna be a bad player. The second one is the Pistons pick, which they get to keep if they're not in the top if they're in the top 20, they get to keep the pick. So more than likely we don't get that pick next year with the whole protected pick and whatever
Yeah.
stuff the NBA has going on. And then the Wizards get to keep their pick if it's in the lottery. So if the Wizards don't make the playoffs,
Which they
they get to
won't.
keep their pick.
Which
They're
they're
not
not
going to
going
make the
to.
playoffs.
Which they're
No,
not
they're not
going
going to.
to.
So that's three picks next year. We get to keep the Dallas one, and then two of the picks are moving back a year or two. And we could have got Jalen Duren, who is probably the best, second best, probably the second best center in the draft behind Chet, because Chet went number two. Had a chance to get him, and we traded him to the Hornets for another pick. I don't even see. It is just it's aggravating me because I still don't understand it completely. And then we unload our Kemba Walker contract, which honestly isn't even that much. It was like the cap hit was like
It was
eight,
like
nine
eight.
million next
Yeah, it
year.
wasn't like crazy.
And
It
we unloaded him,
was the last year of the contract too.
yeah, for nothing. Like we for
Nothing.
more picks. And it's just actually very frustrating because the Knicks are a team that for the past 2 years have been teeter-tottering between being a good team and being a bad team. They just want like a star away, a young talent away from like taking that step to being a good team. And we took three steps backwards.
Yeah, and I
And
mean,
then and I'm sorry. I'm not
no,
one more. I got one more
you're
thing. And
good.
then
You're good.
they send out some whatever tweet
The like
from
press release.
yeah, talking about oh, we are working really hard and we're trying to grow our talent through free agency and this like the way it should be. And I'm like, no, the way it should be is you get these studs in the draft and you develop them like the Warriors have, like the Bucks have with Giannis, like stuff like that is what you need to be doing. Not going to get we're not a trade, we're not like a free agent destination right now.
No,
No one wants to come play for New York. No one wants to play for Tibbs.
nobody.
No one wants that embarrassment. So you have to go draft these players and build them up, like we're doing with RJ, like we're doing with Obi, like we're doing it quickly. But I hate the Knicks so much; it pissed me off.
Yeah, and I mean they shed salary cap so that they can try and get a free agent. There's really not a whole lot of free agents. You expect it to
Oh
be
my
Jalen
goodness!
Brunson. You're
How did
not
I
happy
forget
about
that?
Jalen Brunson,
How did I
but
forget
that's not
that?
part of the draft. So like that doesn't work itself in. It's just a draft.
Yeah, yeah, but like
It's just a
trading
draft.
Kemba to get Jalen Brunson to sign him to a 4 year, $100 million contract. Come on,
Max
New
deal,
York.
baby. Max money.
Jalen Brunson had a couple good playoff games. Averaged 16
He
points
had a
per
couple
game
very
last
good.
year.
He had a couple very good playoff games.
Yeah, because he's never mind. Yeah.
No,
It's very easy to drop 40 when they don't game plan for you,
it's
but that's a different story.
it is a different story, and we could go on about it all day. I'm actually gonna go another loser as well, and mine's gonna actually teeter off of that Knicks one because in that 13th pick ordeal that we still don't fully, Passan, not Passan. Passan, wrong sport.
Baseball.
Yeah, Shams and Woes tweeted different things about what happened here. The one said that Duran was going to the Knicks. One said Duran was going to the Pistons. He's going to the Pistons, but Charlotte was involved in this deal. And essentially, they traded away the 13th pick or the 11th pick, right? No, it was 13th.
13.
Yeah, it was
They traded
13.
13.
15th, yeah. It was the 13th pick of Duran to the Pistons, which is a fantastic for the Pistons because their two guys that they had on their board, which we'll talk about them later, was Ivy and Duran. Duran was the better center prospect. There was 3 good centers in this draft, and they wind up getting Mark Williams. Mark Williams, I think, is going to be a pretty solid player. He fits a need for the Hornets, but they get him at the 15th pick, and when they send out the 13th pick, you know what they got? They got a first-round pick next year for the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets have the 2-time MVP with their second and third best player coming back next year. They're going to be top 5 to 8, depending on whatever Vegas sees, in Vegas odds. And there's no reason that Denver shouldn't at least be preseason one of the favorites to win the finals. There's no reason. So you trade out of 13 to get a pick next year, to get a guy who's worse at this position when the better guy was right there, the better fit, the better playmaker, the better shooter. And I think Mark Williams is going to be great. He's a defender. He's a rim runner. But, like, you could have had all that plus some because that's what Durant is also. And you get a maybe 30th overall pick next year.
Maybe. And it's crazy because, like how you're saying, comparing the two players, Jalen is a lot more versatile than Mark Williams.
So much
Mark Williams is going to be just run the floor, block, dunk. Run the floor, block, dunk.
Which isn't a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's fine like that. If that's how you make your bread in the NBA, that's how you make your bread in the NBA.
And every team needs one of those. Like, good.
Exactly. But you could have had both of them, to be honest.
You literally could have drafted both. Literally.
You literally could have. And then you could have. So with Jalen, he's a better shooter, which is highly coveted in this NBA where you have to be able to shoot. Then you have a better defender. So with teams, a lot of teams like to run pick and roll, pick and pop. Jalen can cover both of those. He can defend
the smaller guy. He's a little quick.
He can cover both of those.
He's a little quick.
Mark can only cover the roll. If it's a pop, you're screwed. If it's a pop, if it's a switch, Mark is on an island, and big man on an island means free bucket. And then you have someone who's just an all-around, in my opinion, better player. Like, nothing wrong with Mark. Like, I think Mark is good. But you pass up a better player to trade for a player who won't be good next year because it's the 30th pick.
Nah, it's weird. You pass up on the better guy for a worse pick. Could have had both. Hornets are pretty significantly a loser to me. And again, it's not because Mark's bad. It's just like the value makes no sense.
I hate to be that guy. I just got a notification from Windhorse, Brian Windhorse.
Okay.
It says Brooklyn reports that they would rather lose Kyrie and KD than go through what they went through last season. They would rather ship both of those guys out of Brooklyn before they have to endure what they just went through last season. So KD and Kyrie, consider them gone. This is the spectators reporting this to you guys live. They are gone. We don't know where yet.
They're done.
Season tip-off, they will not be in Brooklyn.
Bro, that's so funny because have you seen the meme where it's like the guy who's like beaten and battered and he has like the hat on for his team and it's just like, why do you keep putting me through these tests? And then it's like God next to him was like, how are you still alive?
Yeah, like you're supposed to be dead, bro. Oh man, sorry. I got the notification. I had to feel like I had to report that since we're talking about sports and doing my due diligence here.
No, that's very good. Shout out to Windhorse for that one. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, now with that, do you have any winners? We're talking a lot about losers.
One of the winners I have is Detroit.
We touched on that earlier. Yeah.
Because first out, you have Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is very good. Very good player. Was in the running for Rookie of the Year. Eventually got beat out by, was it Mobley, right?
No, Scotty Barnes.
Scotty, regardless. Both of those really good players. But you got beat out by someone who's better. I mean, at this time. But Cade Cunningham was #1 overall pick last year. He's a dog. Yes, Saddiq Bey. Dog.
Who looked really good at points last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Did he get a 50-pointer? Like Okay, Sadiq. Okay.
Exactly. Looked very good. Then you get Jaden Ivy. Jay Ivy is who I think most of these later round, like later pick teams wanted. And for some reason, the Kings messed it up and took Keegan Murray, who Keegan Murray will probably be better. He'll probably be the better player next year, but then after that, that'll be it. So you pass up on like so they whatever, he falls into their lap, he gets him at the fifth pick. Dog. And then you
Also,
get Jalen Duren.
second best center in
Dog.
the draft.
Dog.
Yeah.
And you're going after DeAndre Ayton in free agency.
No, you're not now.
I mean, he still might. Wouldn't be surprised if they still try it
Really?
because you have four dudes on rookie contracts.
I guess here's the thing, right? Like they have money for a max deal, and that this is partially why they're such winners. I actually think Detroit could maybe be competitive next year. Like
And you get
this,
rid of Grant's contract. I mean, Grant's a good player. I love Grant.
he's a good player, but you get rid of his contracts, and now you have room for a max. You have Cade Cunningham coming off into his second season. The second half of last year, he looked fantastic.
Amazing.
I think Jaden Ivey, you said Keegan Murray might be better right away. I don't even agree because I think Cade Cunningham is going to take the pressure off of Jaden so much because
Hmm.
Cade is more of a playmaker type of point guard. He obviously can get his own shot, but he's a playmaker. And
Hmm.
that was kind of the one flaw with Jaden Ivey. I think people weren't sure how much of a true playmaker he would be because he's such a like good shooter for the most part. And he's so fast and quick that it's like, is he really that, or is he more of a De'Aaron Fox kind of guy? I think he's more of a De'Aaron Fox with a little bit of a J. They kind of complement each other really well at the 1-2 guard. Then you get Duran, so he can stretch the floor a little bit with a center that can actually defend. Also, Jaden Ivey, I think, is actually gonna eventually become a good defender.
Hmm.
And then, like you said, Sadiq Bey, this team could be very good if they go out and get a Miles Bridges, if they go out and get a DeAndre Ayton. Sadly, they're going to be a max deal, and I don't think either of those guys really should be getting max deals, but that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
But they become a pretty decent team at that point.
And DeAndre Ayton, he's a good player. He just fizzles out when you need him the most. At least he did for the past 2 years. But
You know,
regular season, DeAndre Ayton's really good. So he can get you at least over that hump to get you back into contention. Maybe not make the playoffs this year, but you could be fighting for that spot. There's no more playing this year, so it's just top eight, make it. That's it.
Also,
So
keep in mind if Ayton goes to the Pistons, and it's not a great comparison because Chris Paul's a Hall of Famer and Devin Booker's like an elite scorer in this league, but the Pistons have more guys that can get a bucket. So Ayton won't be the 3 option over there. He'll
he
be
can
the
be
4 or
five,
5 option.
or he can be happy.
And that's exactly what he needs to be because he can't shoot. This is not a
He can
shooting center.
he can literally just be like a 12 and 12 kind of guy,
He can be a Mark Williams.
but
That's
has still have
fine.
that ability to get a bucket whenever, like if he needs
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. And that's so fine. And like again, I don't think that this team's gonna be better than the Suns next year, but I think that fit is better.
Right.
So
Yeah. That's my number one winner for the draft.
yeah, Pistons had a good draft. They had a really good, those are the 2 guys they really wanted to. A winner for me as well. It could be really easy to say, um, like the Magic, they had the 1 pick. They got the guy who I think has the highest ceiling in the draft outside of Jaden Ivey. I think Bankero and Ivy have the 2 highest ceilings. I think those guys could very well be stars.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna go with the Rockets. And it's not because of anything they did. It's because they wanted Bankero, and I think Bankero's great. I really do. But Bankero kind of needs the ball. And Jabari doesn't. And Jabari's a better shooter. And this team
By
needed
far.
some shooting because they have a lot of playmaker guys who are like uber athletic and kind of need to get to the cup. Jabari can shoot, he can defend. He's uber athletic also, so he kind of fits that Houston mold that they're making right now. And I
Hmm.
think Bankero would have slowed him down, especially on fast breaks. And I don't think he would have been a bad fit. I think he would have been great there. But Green makes, or not Green, Jabari makes way more sense with Jalen Green, with KP.
Hmm.
And this team could, like, slowly start to turn a corner. Uh, it sucks a little bit that Jabari's more pro ready right now because I don't think this team is pro ready.
Mhm.
But the number one overall pick fell to number 3, and how can you be upset about that if you're the Rockets?
Right. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think that was my second winner was the Rockets and the Magic because I said this before, I don't know if it was on the show, if I was just talking to somebody.
Hmm.
I said it'll be best for both teams if Jabari goes to number 3 and Bankero goes number 1. I think Bankero's a better fit with the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic have more of like slower pace. They are looking for that one person, that can take over. Cole Anthony, he's a UNC boy. I love him. He's not that. He's a great player. He'll be a good role player. He'll be a good starting point guard, I think. But he's not going to be that guy. And then um, Jalen Suggs, another one. He's going to be a good guard for the Magic. He's not that guy. And so their guards are set, but they've never had like they always go for the big men for whatever reason. Orlando Magic
They
love to go
love
for
it. They
big men
love
who
it.
end up not being able to do anything with the rock, right? You go get Mo Bamba, can't really do anything. You get Jonathan Isaac, good players, always hurt. You
And
had
even
Aaron
him, like
Gordon,
he was catch and shoot, if anything else. Like he's not like
yeah,
a playmaker at any.
you had Aaron Gordon traded to him, and Aaron Gordon was just athletic. That was really about it. You have Wendell Carter Jr. now, who is just boards and defense. That's really about it. Now you have Paolo Banchero, who I think is probably going to be, offensively speaking, he's the most versatile offensive player in the draft because
Yeah,
his
yeah,
size,
yeah.
he's 6'10, he's 250. But whenever he has the rock in his hand, he looks like he's 6'5", 190. Like he's very fluid with the ball. He can score from all three levels. He can get to the paint. He can score off the block, off the post, and he can shoot a decent. He has a decent shot. Mid range, really
It
good.
could
Three
develop.
pointer,
It can develop
yeah,
certainly.
I have to work on it. So like they got a dude who's ready to be just that dog. Like he's a better ball handler than I think Jabari Smith is. Jabari Smith is a better shooter, better D.
He's a better wing.
He's a more NBA ready player than Paolo is.
Yeah,
Paolo's gonna have to become that dude. But the fact that you have someone who's offensive minded on the Orlando Magic and who you can give him to give a bucket at any point. He averaged 17 points a game on almost 50% shooting last year at 6'10". So that's crazy. And he pretty much single-handedly carried Duke to the Final Four.
yeah, he really did. So yeah, the Rockets. It's crazy talking about the Rockets and the Pistons actually making like good decisions. Not that I don't think they've ever been like truly poverty. Although the Pistons kind of looked that way for a while, it's not really their fault. They've just had busts. Like you can't control 4 years of top 7 picks not working out. Like
Exactly.
because they were always picking the best guy available. So it's just kind of the way it went. But they look like they're turning the corner. It looks like the Rockets are turning the corner, and the Magic might be having something cooking. I don't know, but that's the cool part about the draft. Like these bad teams kind of upswing, right?
Hmm. And they both win for not drafting Chet.
They both win for not drafting Chet, and I think that goes to my next winner is going to be OKC. And I think OKC was in fact a winner because they were the only team in the draft, the entire draft. Maybe like besides like the Wizards or something like that. Like that was far enough away that could take a risk on Chet. And if Chet doesn't work out, the Thunder are going to be fine. Like the Thunder are going to be good in 6 years. I don't care who the superstar is going to be. I don't care if none of the guys in the roster aren't there anymore. They will be good because they have 30 first round picks. It's going to happen. There's too much talent in the draft that they can't miss 30 times. You just can't.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So you get Chet. Ceiling is insanely high. The floor is he's not in the league in 2 years, right?
Yeah. Darko Milicic.
Take that risk. Awesome. If we look back on this draft and we say Chet Holmgren, wow, what a bust. I don't even think OKC fans are upset. Like they're upset because they don't get Jaden Ivey, maybe, but like, are you really? I don't know.
They're the
But
only team
then,
who's, like you said, who really needed a center like that too.
yeah,
Like
it's great.
that bad.
Nobody. And so they wind up trading in to the 11 pick, and they get Usman Dieng, who's European guy. I honestly don't know too much about him, so I'm not gonna speak on him. I don't know a thing about him. But they get him, and they don't give up the 12 pick in this draft, and the picks they give up tie into the Knicks being losers. With the picks they gave up, 2 of them are conditional that aren't even gonna pan out next year. So they give up dead assets to get maybe something good. I don't know, but he's the 11th overall pick.
Right.
And then they get Jalen Williams at the 12, and I think they really wanted Jalen Williams.
And they also get Jalen Williams in the second round too.
Yeah.
They get 2 Jalen Williams. Just
Which
spelled
is
different.
Very odd. I don't like that.
Jaylin and Jalen.
How do you put that on jerseys? Are
For
we
the
just putting
people.
Williams and we're guessing?
What's up?
Like if on the jerseys, like are they putting just Williams
Oh.
and we just
See, that's the thing. Like, because usually if they have 2 like same last name, you put like J Williams,
but you can't do that.
but you can't do that. Like, you have to put
Do we
legit.
just
You have
put
to spell
their
their
first
names
name,
out.
just Jalen and Jalen?
Yeah, and
No
if
Williams,
they both
just
get
Jalen.
they both become raw, and they both are putting up 20 a game. Their slogan could be Jalen for the people.
Ooh, I was thinking J Will squared.
Ooh, see?
You know what I'm saying? We already got the nicknames for him.
Oh, okay. See, look at we like it.
Yeah, we like it. I don't know. I thought they were winners. I mean, they're so young that
Mhm.
seeing them finally use these picks, like this is the first draft that they didn't trade back and try and get more. They're like, okay, let's use them now.
Right.
They were the youngest team in the league. They're gonna keep filling in players until the Josh Giddies prove themselves and
Josh Giddey.
and the Paveskis start proving himself. You know, like they have a weird like the Lou Dorts. Like they have been getting some kind of hidden gems, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So, winner. Do you have another winner or loser? Doesn't matter which. We don't have to keep going back and forth like this.
Honestly, not really. Like this, like we were talking about it before we started on air. It's very hard to like predict who's going to be a winner, who's going to be a loser. 3 days after the draft, like you really won't know.
We haven't even
until-
seen a workout. Summer league hasn't
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it's very hard to see who the winner or losers are, but the Knicks, obviously, a bunch of losers
But
per usual.
losing, dude. Sometimes you wake up and you're a loser. Like there's nothing you can do.
And that's a New York state of mind right now, except for the Yankees. Shout
And the
out
Mets.
A-Rod.
Hold on, and the
Uh,
Mets.
Not A-Rod, I'm sorry, Aaron.
Aaron. I have another news thing. Just want to say. Apparently, Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson. Yes. Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, AP, and whatever Le'Veon is, are in talks for a potential boxing fight next month. That's it. Let him have it. I got
Whatever,
AP
man.
all day, right?
I don't know, Le'Veon. I feel like Le'Veon
I don't
is
know, bro.
just
Did you see those marks on AP's kid, bro? This is a known abuser. Known
I feel like
abuser versus just Le'Veon. I'm taking the abuser. In a fight.
I feel like Le'Veon is
In a
very
fight.
angry. I feel like Le'Veon is just very angry. Yeah, he's a lot of pent up aggression.
He hasn't let it out yet.
Because this man went from being at the top of the hill to having to fight AP to stay relevant.
Like,
Le'Veon in
it
2
took like
rounds.
2 years. Le'Veon in 2.
Le'Veon in 2. Off of pure anger alone and embarrassment.
What a ridiculous notification to get mid episode. My
Sad.
goodness. My goodness. My last winner for the draft, and I think this is a pretty good thing in general for the NBA, is the G League. And the G League
Yeah.
Ignite team in particular. They put this Ignite team so that people didn't have to go to college if you didn't want to. If you thought you were good enough and you wanted to play professionally, you go to Ignite, you get drafted out of Ignite, and it works out. We had 3 Ignite players get drafted this year. 8 overall with Daniels, and then Beauchamp, I think.
Yeah,
and
I remember where
and
he
Jaden
went.
Hardy. So big shout out to the Ignite. Last year we had Jalen Green and Kaminga come out of that. So there are guys coming out of Ignite, and it's really cool to see these guys taking a risk on themselves or taking a chance on themselves and it working out. Obviously, it doesn't work for everybody, but it is cool to see that there is a path without
Right. Like
college.
I love how the NBA is they're having this whole developmental thing now where you can become NBA ready without having to go to the draft and listen at least until they start doing the one and done things again, which they might end up doing that, I think, sooner than later. But until then, having this G League, you go. I mean, it doesn't really matter as much as far as the money side because there's NIL deals. Obviously, you'll probably make a little bit more in the G League, but being around professional talent compared to like you just standing out far and above everyone else in college helps you prepare for the NBA. You're playing against
Yeah.
grown adults who are, some of them have already been playing in the NBA at some point. So you get to go see how you handle against the bottom tier NBA players.
Yeah, and obviously it could do some damage too, right? I think I remember seeing Jaden Hardy was going to be like a top pick. Like I remember people said he might be a lottery pick coming into the year. He had his
Hmm.
G League year. It wasn't the best. He kind of struggled. You know why? He's playing against professionals in the G League. Like these are other guys who have been drafted. These are good players. And so there are struggles that come with it, but it's a risk, and I think that you could be a better player from it.
Overall, I think you get a better understanding of who that player is going to be in the NBA if they decide to
Which
go
is
to
why their
that G
stock will
League route.
will fall so much because it's like, okay, well, this is that type of guy, and then like
Yeah, like we're in college, like
he'd be
Hardy could have
cooked.
been averaging 20 points,
Yeah.
but works out how it works out. And also shout out to like international players now. I feel like over the past couple of years, the amount of international players being drafted into the NBA is absurd.
There's like one or two in the lottery every year.
Exactly. So the NBA is no longer just American bred talent.
Very cool.
Back to the past, what, three MVPs or
Three,
past 3 year MVPs. Well, because Giannis won back to back too, right?
four MVPs in a row.
Yeah, have been
International.
European.
Yeah. European big men. Where did that come from? we were like guard heavy for a while, and nope.
Nope. Now the
Mm-mm.
best players in the league are big men.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's true. So, we'll look out for it. Again, it's kind of hard to see who's winners and losers just a couple days after the draft. We'll probably have this episode again in like 6 months when like they actually start playing games. But
Summer league, baby.
Summer League, baby. Summer League's actually really fun to watch, so I can't wait for that. And I do want to mention this. I know you weren't going to, but I will mention this. Shout out to the Colorado Avalanche for winning the Stanley Cup.
I
That's
don't know who they are.
the end of our NHL stuff.
Don't even know. Don't even care.
I
Don't even
want.
care.
I hope you guys are proud with how we at least semi covered hockey this year. We did it. We were
Look,
better.
we're starting something new.
We were
But
better.
shout out to the Avs. All good things must come to an end, I guess. Tampa Bay Lightning, 2 games away from a three-peat.
Almost.
Hasn't so close. But hey, we were down Braden Point, so Chernak was hurt like 2 games out of these 6 game series. So two of our main people down, and the Avalanche probably played some of the best hockey I've ever seen.
Yeah, they were really good.
So, and then the Lightning had to beat 3 50-win teams just to get to this spot to play another 50-win team.
Brutal. Gauntlet.
Yes, tough.
Also, I do want it to be known. Shout out to my man Perry from the Lightning. He has lost the last three finals. He was against the Lightning the last 2 years, and then he joins the Lightning because he was sick of losing to him, and then loses. Three
That boy,
straight Stanley Cup losses. Pretty tough.
that
That's
Corey
heartbreaking.
Perry. Corey
True
Perry is the
heartbreak.
reason we lost this. He
Yeah,
just,
100%.
yeah, like you went to Dallas, you lose. You go to Montreal, you
You
lose.
lose.
And you come to Tampa, and you make us lose, dude.
That
I
was
had my
spite work. It
boat
was
parade
actually
outfit
spiteful.
ready.
It was
I
spiteful.
had the boat parade outfit was ready. The Hoochie Daddy shorts were ready.
It is Hoochie Daddy season.
The Hoochie Daddy shorts were ready for the boat parade. I was finna show quads and hammies and a little bit of glute. They was finna poke out a little bit. But I can't now because of Corey
Nah,
Perry.
you
Thanks,
can't.
Corey.
Thank you, Corey. Also, shout out to Old Miss for winning the College World Series. Got a shout
Hotty
out.
toddy. Hotty
Hotty
toddy.
Toddy, the championship stays in Mississippi. Mississippi State last year, Ole Miss this year. That's kind of interesting. I feel like that doesn't
Hotty
happen.
toddy.
Pretty cool. And that pretty much means that this is baseball season now. That's all we got. So y'all better like baseball because that's pretty much all we got. I know Little League World Series coming up soon.
Hmm.
They got the video game coming out for it if you're interested in that.
And then 4 more weeks. NFL training camp. If you don't like baseball, you only got 4 more weeks till training camp.
Which training camp does nothing for us, but
I mean, to
the
me, it
talks can
does.
start. The talks can start.
Yeah, you can start to see who's going to start to pan out, who looks good, because in OTAs and mini camp, no pads really, like no contact. So
You know,
offensive players look like gods
to everybody.
because
Yeah, because
yeah,
they're
because
not
you
getting
can't touch them.
smacked. There's no fear.
Exactly.
No
Training
fear.
camp is when the dogs become dogs.
It's
You get to
true.
see what rookies, what free agent signings are going to be some dogs. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you tune in. Having fantasy content coming back out soon, probably within the next week or two, because it's time to start buckling down and getting your team set, who you want to draft. I know fantasy drafts for dynasty leagues are starting out pretty early, so I know they're probably going on either this week or next week's and up until the season starts. So make sure y'all stay tuned on Instagram to check out G Man's fantasy content. I got a lot in store for y'all this year.
Absolutely, and I can't wait for the fantasy content. I can't wait for fantasy football. I'm very excited. So thank you guys for listening and/or watching. Make sure you follow us at Spectators Media on all of our platforms and subscribe to us on YouTube if you do not already. We'll be back next Monday with another episode. Talk some baseball. We'll vibe. We'll hang out. I'll see you guys then. You stay beautiful. Have a great rest of your week.
Go Aaron Judge, baby.
Go Judge. Mink.